Before we dive in to the cross-sectional component of our search pattern, I just want to take a moment to discuss setting up your screens and your monitors so that you can look and appreciate the anatomy and pathology on multiple orientations at one time. How you actually do this is going to depend upon the software that you're using for image viewing, the amount of monitors you have, and a few other things. However, I'll just show you an example using this software with one monitor, how it can be advantageous to set things up. So basically, we have our non-contrast CT of the head, and what I'm going to do is come over here, and I'm actually going to do a study compare and just open up the same study twice and just compare it against itself. And then what I'm going to do is utilize this two monitor approach. Even though I'm on one screen, it's going to treat each side as one monitor. And then what I can do is split. I like splitting it horizontally like this, each of my monitors. And then what I would like to do is put my soft tissue window up here, my soft tissue kernel up here, and then put my bone kernel down here. And then what I can do is window this kind of on the brain tissue for now. This is going to be windowed for bone. We'll come back to this later. Then what I can do is double click here. And then on my other monitor, I have the sagittal head right up here, and I have the coronal right here as well too. Now, what's really helpful about this is I can kind of, get to representative cross sections here on either side. And this will really help me understand the anatomy, especially if I do something like turn on my reference lines. So I just right click here, turn on my reference lines, and now I can see exactly where I am scanning through when I go through each cross section. So it'll show me on the other ones where I am. I think this is really, really helpful, especially if you kind of put your sagittal slice midline and then you kind of put your coronal slice kind of in the middle, maybe front middle. You can really get a good appreciation of where you are. And another thing that you can do is if you right click here, you can do triangulation. So if I click on a structure, I can immediately triangulate where I am. So I think this is really, really helpful. You can see the crosshairs, and as I move it, it kind of scans through. So if you were to find anything that's interesting or something you want to appreciate on a different view, then you can use your triangulation, and anywhere you click, the other two will go there. And then you can always double click to make something full screen on a monitor if you want to take a closer look. Let's say if I want to look at the axials relative to the sagittals, and then you can easily switch from one to another. So this kind of sets things up where it's very easy to switch between views and orientations. And then here we can go to the bone window, or bone kernel rather, very easily. And it sets up everything where now, as we go through our search pattern, it's going to be very easy to go from one thing to another.